Stamper fans! Welcome to another Make It Monday broadcast. I am Nan Gerlitz, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Bloomington, Illinois, and I am here live on my YouTube channel, 7 p.m. Central Time every Monday night. Mostly. I'll always let you know if I'm skipping a week. So tonight I've got this fun card, which won me the Friday Night Stamper Championship from this last weekend. Super simple card, which I love, but it packs a big punch, and that's thanks to the Designer Series paper. So I will be showing you how quickly that one will go together. I've got some surprises for you at the end as well, so make sure you stick with us until then. Let me go ahead and switch our view. There we go. And we will get started. As always, I have linked a full supply list and cardstock measurements in the video description, so you can always click there if you've missed anything, or if you just rather not take notes and you just want to listen and watch, because that's the way I like to watch videos the first time. So to get started, let me go over what we will be using. Just one stamp set tonight, and that is our Peaceful Moments stamp set. This one's actually, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4 years old. But it's kind of a go-to for me for a lot of projects. It's got your happy birthday, it's got your thank you, sympathy, congratulations. So you've got your basics covered for almost anything. And then you've got some really fun things. You shouldn't have, but I'm glad you did. Wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. Always remember, these are the moments we'll look back on with joy, thinking of you with all my heart. And then the one we're using tonight, Life is Better with a Friend Like You, which that and the birthday one are probably the two I've used the most out of this stamp set. Absolutely love it. So we'll be using that. One ink pad tonight, and that is our Blackberry Bliss. And for cardstock and paper, we will be starting off with our thick white, basic white cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5 inches, scored at 4 1/4. So take our bone folder and give that a good crease. I always flip mine over and give it another crease on the other side, and it lays nice and flat that way and doesn't pop back up on me. So there's no middle to really get out of the way tonight. I did cut an extra little piece of Designer Series paper though, so I will be using that, but I didn't include that in the measurements. So also, the next layer is our Blackberry Bliss, which is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Then we have a piece of our Designer Series paper, and I have made this, I just want to make sure, 5 1/8 by 3 3/4. I've got an extra little strip of that designer paper because, as you can see, backside. So I've taken an extra little strip that is 1/2 inch, and I cut it to 4 inches. And then we've got another piece of our basic white. You can use the thick for this, or you can use the regular basic white. Doesn't matter. But this one is 3/4 inches wide by the 4 inch width or length, whatever. 4 inches by 3/4 inches. So that is all of the cardstock and paper we'll be using. The only other thing really we'll be using is our fine sparkle adhesive backed gems. And these are part of the Storybook Gnomes suite of products that's in the July through December mini catalog. So if I can get these really close, you can see they're kind of faceted. They're like, like gem cut things. And then they have some glitter to them. So really, really fun. Let me show you that suite of products real quick from the mini catalog. So if you have your own copy of the mini catalog, this is on page 42 and 43. So we've got some great samples here, and then here it'll show you everything that's included in that suite. And here are these gems. Get that a little closer for you. You'll be seeing some more of these gnomes soon because I love gnomes. So I bought the whole suite of products. Got some great designer paper. We've got dies and matching stamp set. We've got really pretty ribbon and these gems. And then this fun puff paint. So it's basically white puff paint. You just squeeze it on a little bit, and then you hit it with a heat gun and it puffs up. So I don't know if you all remember that from, I feel like I was a kid when that came out, but aren't those so pretty? Hi, Penny. Yeah, I do love these gems. As you can see, I'm really loving the pool party ones. So I'm going to have to branch into using the other colors. So, but it paired perfectly with our designer paper that we're using today. Let's see. We'll also be needing our trimmer. So I've got that handy. I'll be using my silicone craft mat because I'll pretty much be using liquid glue on this entire project. So one kind of glue and you can get it done. You can totally use your Stamp and Seal. That'll work completely. But I just like the extra little wiggle room that the green glue, as we call it, gives us on those strips. Okay? All right, let's get started assembling. So as I said, I cut an extra little piece of that designer paper. I really liked it. This is a 3/4 by 5.5 inch piece. So if you've already got the pack of paper, you can just pull that out and cut yourself a piece for the inside of your card. And this is when I usually, because you know, I like to decorate the inside of my cards. Well, it's tough when you're only using designer paper and a sentiment because you don't have like a cute little hippo or a flower or anything else to stamp on the inside. So if you're using designer paper though, that's the perfect thing to just plop right inside your card. And now it's all pretty and matchy-matchy with the front. Bam, we're done. And bonus, if you're like me and you can never think of what to write, that just made your writing space a little less, less big, right? So a little smaller. Okay, let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment right away so we get all of our kind of, prep work done. So we've got our Blackberry Bliss. I've got my size H acrylic block, stamp set. So this is one of our cling stamp sets. So it's a red rubber. So here's my secret, if you haven't seen it yet, for getting straight sentiments, since you can't see through the stamps on the red rubber. I line the bottom of my block up with a grid on my grid paper, with one of the lines, and then I line my sentiment up straight with, on each side with the same line that I can see through the block. So that assures me that that is pretty straight. Now, when I go to stamp it, I will line my cardstock up with a grid as well. We will ink that up, make sure I got good coverage. And then when I go to stamp it, okay, that's about the middle. So now I'm going to make sure that I'm even with a line on the grid paper, straight down, straight up, boom. I love it when it works, you guys. Seriously though, that's the best way I've found to stamp straight greetings without a Stamparatus or some other tool to help you. If you've just got a block and a stamp, grid paper is your friend. All right, so that's all we're using that ink pad for tonight. Forgot to bring my cleaner over, so I will have to make sure to clean that before I put it away. Okay, now let's trim our designer paper. So remember, I cut this 5 1/8 inch by 3 3/4. So what I'm going to do is just chop this into 3 strips of 1 1/4 each. And I think I pointed this out last week that we've got like 1.5 inches of measurements to this side of the cutting blade, which I love because it's easier to hold on to that big piece of paper over here rather than trying to scooch around with it where you don't have surface over here. So I'm going to put that to the 1 1/4 inch line, cut one, 1 1/4 again, cut that, and that last one's 1 1/4 already. So now I'm just going to flip that middle one, and boom, there's the front of our card. It's really this easy, you guys. I absolutely love this layout. It's so great for things like this. You can stamp a piece of white cardstock and then split it into 3 pieces and kind of have that triptych art effect. I'm so smart with my art words, right? All right, so now I'm going to have my liquid glue out. So I'm going to get my silicone craft sheet out. These are so fabulous. They're really originally kind of made to use with glue guns. So if you have a hot glue gun, you can like blob a big blob in there, and then you can attach flower petals or whatever you're building to it. And then the glue does not stick to this, you know, once it's kind of hardened, you can just peel it right off. Well, it's great for all sorts of glues. So if you have your Stampin' Seal, you can just go right on it, and then you can just peel it right off, literally. No, nothing there. So I always use it when I try to remember to use it when I use my liquid glue, because I tend to maybe get off the paper a little bit or something like that. So with this, I don't have to worry about it so much. It won't get on my grid paper or on my work surface or anywhere else. It'll just hit the silicone mat, and that's easy to clean up. You can also just rinse the mat right under water when you're done, and that'll take all the glue off of it as well. So I'm going to start with the outside pieces. And this is a pretty narrow border I've got on it. So I'll just kind of eyeball it to make sure it's pretty even all the way around. And then I will do my other side piece. And when you're trying to center something, this is a really good way of doing it. Do those outside pieces first, because you can get a good eyeball of, okay, those are about the same distance from the edges. And then you know how much middle space you have to work with. So now I'll take my middle piece and I'll just center that. So I'll get it top and bottom, I'll get that the same distance. And I'll get about the same distance on either side. Boom! Looks pretty centered to me. So now as you're watching, any of the products that I'm showing here can be ordered right from my website at stampernan.stampinup.net. But even if you never order anything from me, I want to help you build your confidence and your creativity. So stick around. We'll help you out. All right, so a little liquid glue still. We'll get that going. And that entire piece of Blackberry Bliss goes right on the white card base. Bam. We're going to bring our silicone mat back out. And now I'm going to just put a little bit of adhesive on the bottom of this sentiment first. Pop that guy down there. So I just want kind of a thin bead right along the bottom. And see, I went off the edge and it's on the mat instead of on my grid paper. Perfect. So now I can just kind of eyeball this and see, oh, let's go right to the center of those diamonds. And there'll just be kind of this little banner sticking out the bottom. That'll be cute. Now I can put a little bit more on the whole thing. And right to the card front. Seriously, you guys, this is like the easiest card. And this is going to go all the way side to side on the Blackberry Bliss layer. So it's actually overlapping the designer paper some. Okay, so that's out of the way. Now we just need to grab our Take Your Pick tool, which you know I love. Let me use my putty end here, so I just need to advance that up a little bit. And it looks like I'm getting down to the bottom, so I'll have to put my refill in soon. And then we're just going to take a couple of our small pool party gems for some sparkle. Now, normally, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know I like to do odd number of gems or rhinestones or whatever I'm using. But these are just little bookends to that sentiment. So 2 is fine. I give you permission. Super fast and easy. That's right. So this kind of card is perfect for when you want to make a lot of multiples. Let's say Christmas is coming up. Most of us make multiples at Christmas time. Maybe you want to make birthday cards for a year. This pack of paper, which let me show you all the designs, is great if you want to make, let's say, a year's worth of birthday cards in kind of one sitting or a couple of weekends. You can use this kind of layout and you can go through so many different patterns with this pack of paper. So this is called Design a Daydream. It is one of our host rewards. So when you either place a personal order or a party of orders for qualifying for host rewards, you can purchase this pack of paper at a reduced price with your host rewards. So this is actually a pack of 48 sheets. So you get 4 of each of these designs I'm going to show you. So here is your front and back. You've probably, if you've followed me at all, you've seen these seagulls on some things, and you'll be seeing more of them this week. I love this leafy pattern, very cool. And stripes, I love the stripes. I love this blackberry with all these other kind of brighter and pale colors. It's just such a vibrant like contrast. Some more really cool leafy kind of images, really fun. I love this one as well. And then we've just got some nice geometric patterns. Another thing I love about our pattern paper, it's two-sided, it all coordinates really well. But if you don't like one side, most likely you're going to find something on the other side that you like. So you're going to use every sheet, let me tell you, because I do, even if I end up not like, you know, I'm not a big fan. This is a really cool sheet. You can see it's got an ombre effect. So the yellow is much darker down here in this corner, and then it kind of bleeds up and fades. These are great for scrapbooking as well. You can see they're 12 by 12 inches. So, you know, that would be a fun summer layout, just using this as your background. More stripes, yay! A yellow and pink together, I never would have done, but I love this. Designer paper is fabulous for color combinations if you're stuck. Great geometric, really colorful pattern, but kind of a more subtle design, right? So it's not like screaming at you with big bold lines. Another nice little geometric pattern all in one color. Bicycles, love the bicycles, super fun. Again, all the colors kind of mixed together. So it's just like the card we made tonight. It's really nice. You get all that colorful boom, bam, and just add a sentiment and you're done. Another great geometric pattern that is really making the camera go wonky. Sorry. More fun stripes, very bright and bold and thick. Love it. And another fun geometric pattern. Some great florals, all monochromatic. Love that as well. And some really pretty pink. Just a nice little kind of trellis pattern. Here's the one we used tonight with the little diamonds on the other side. More great florals, love that. And another little kind of trellis, this one in green. Some more just green kind of, they're like arcs of patterns really now that I'm looking at it. Fun. And pinwheels. So you can see a varied pack of paper. Love, love, love this paper. If you've been following me on Facebook, you have seen a lot of that paper, I'm sure. It probably looks pretty familiar to you because I've made a lot. So let's see. I told you there was a couple surprises at the end here. So I do have an alternative using this same layout, and I zhuzhed things up a little bit. So this is a Christmas card that I made with the paper from the Gnomes suite that I showed you. So we've got this fun Christmas tree, and this was actually a different sheet of paper. It was not the back side of this, with this really pretty snowflake pattern. We've got our Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas greeting. And then I've used our Evergreen punch. It's a border punch. So I've given the softer trees behind, instead of doing the designer paper like I did here, I've got trees. And then I punched the trees out of a deeper color, the Bermuda Bay, and put them on the front. And then if you can see, they sparkle a little bit. There we go. A little wink of Stella. And some more of those pool party dots, those gems. Love those. So that's our alternative to this card. So you can see, great layout, completely different feel to that card. So you can zhuzh it up or zhuzh it down. You could use a circle greeting instead. You could use a label. You could add some ribbon. but the basic layout is super, super versatile. I do want to remind you all before I forget that I mentioned Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook. Just search for Stamper Nan. I'm pretty much Stamper Nan anywhere on the internet. And I did want to share with you, so over on Facebook this week, I will be sharing kind of fast and easy. So simple layouts, maybe few supplies, just stamps, ink, and paper kind of using things. Taking a peek at my stuff over here. I'll be featuring some kit cards as well. So some great ideas if you're just getting started, or if you're short on time and you're like, if you don't have a lot of space for supplies, we'll be keeping the supplies down, a lot of that. So that's this whole week on Facebook. I'll be featuring things like that. And in celebration, I have wished for like 19 years, well, probably 15 of them, that I had kept the very first card I ever made. I was with another direct sales company. I had met my demonstrator at a vendor event, and I thought, wouldn't that be cute to send my hosts handmade cards this year? So I decided to do that and went over and I bought a penguin set because I only needed black ink. So, see, fast and easy. And so I just put together these postcards for my hosts. And I said, boy, I wish I still had one of those to show people, hey, this is where I started. Everybody can do this. So what I did last week was I decided to kind of recreate it. It's different. It's a different penguin stamp, but this is basically what I did for my hosts that year. It's literally a postcard. It's not even a real card that opens because that's how, well, let's say frugal I was. So I had actually printed a greeting on the back and then hand signed all of them. And then I just stamped these penguins. It was a one stamp that had 3 penguins. And I like colored in their little bellies. And then I probably put Merry Christmas on it or something. But this was it. There was no ribbon. There was no rhinestones. There was no nothing. So this is really basic, guys. This is where I started. And this is better than the one I originally made. So I will post that on Facebook as well for everybody that hasn't seen this video, but I wanted to share that with you tonight so you can kind of see the origin and, where things have come. You've seen some of my other creations, so we've come a long way in 19 and a half years. So definitely, you can do this too if you're doubting it. Trust me, you can. All right. That's about all I have for you tonight. Remember that Celebration is going on right now until the end of August while supplies last, and that is freebies. So if you're wondering anything about that, you can find out right on my website as well. You can search all of that Celebration goodies. You can send me a message. That would be great too. All righty. So go back here. Aw, thank you, Penny. That was very sweet. It was from the heart, and thanks for the adorable. The other penguin stamp, actually, each of them were holding a separate letter in the word joy, so that was really cute. All right, so that's what I have for you tonight. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you got some tips. If you did, go ahead and subscribe. You can hit the bell so you can get notifications when I go live or post another video. And if you feel like it, I'd love it if you'd share this with your friends so they can learn something new too. All right. Next week, I will be back at 7 p.m. So until then, I'm still Man Girlets.